Okay, boys, it's time. It's time to give up our real lives because Warhorse Studios, who make Kingdom Come Deliverance, are making an open world Middle-earth RPG. Say goodbye to your girlfriends. Say goodbye to your cats, your dogs. Say goodbye to everything else because we're going to be living in Middle-earth, in the most immersive Middle-earth experience. If there is one studio that knows how to do grounded medieval immersion, it's Warhorse. I'm talking ambient taverns, I'm talking beautiful forests, I'm talking muddy paths and environments and landscapes and mountains.
Mountains, Gandalf.
Great sword combat, believable worlds and atmosphere where you can go out and find random events happening or engaging NPCs. Imagine Middle-earth in the stunning fidelity that is offered in Kingdom Come Deliverance. Just imagine it. Dangerous travel, events that are happening, camps you can stumble upon. This studio was born to make a Lord of the Rings game, and there's another reason why I am so happy that this is happening. And it's because I feel like in the past few years, Lord of the Rings fans have just not been able to catch a break with getting good Lord of the Rings content. We got War of the Rohirrim, which flopped to the box office. We got the Gollum game, which was an absolute abomination. We got Rings of Power, Tales of the Shire. It is unbelievably frustrating that we are not getting a great Lord of the Rings experience until now. The beacons are lit, Lord of the Rings fans everywhere have called for aid, and Warhorse Studios have answered. So yes, there is confirmation that Warhorse are working on a Middle-earth RPG, but before we completely evaporate from overload, it's important to ground ourselves also in reality, right? Because we don't know the scale, the planned features or mechanics or release date. We know nothing, right? There's no information currently other than the official announcement that this is actually happening. And then the question becomes, are we getting overhyped for nothing? And I'm generally of the opinion that it's really good to have a healthy dose of realistic expectations along with optimism. But Warhorse Studios have kind of earned the benefit of the doubt from us because not only have they already delivered 2 great games, but they're clearly heavily experienced in the medieval grounded immersion that would so perfectly fit Tolkien's world. So why does it fit so well? Well, think about what Warhorse are really good at. Now imagine taking that design philosophy and applying it to Middle-earth. Imagine riding across the plains of Rohan, or defending the siege at Helm's Deep from thousands of Uruk-hai, or simply stopping at the Prancing Pony just to chill and relax and have a pint, or maybe do some story quest. Imagine being a ranger wandering the forests at night and stumbling across a camp of orcs that heavily outnumber you. And this of course brings up other questions like, what mechanics do we want to see in a game from Warhorse? Because to be honest with you, I wouldn't want to see a Kingdom Come Deliverance carbon copy. The mechanics in that game were perfect for that game, but I actually wouldn't want to see the experiment of how can we make the most realistic sword combat in Lord of the Rings. In Kingdom Come Deliverance, it worked really well for the vibe they were going for, which was learning how to become basically a knight, right? And fight like a knight. So I would actually love to see a more fluid combat system, more fast-paced. Maybe taking inspiration from things like the old school Assassin's Creed, where it's really about parrying and timing and really good, cool finishes. If any of you guys played some of the old Lord of the Rings games like Return of the King, when that thing released on PlayStation, the combat in that game was awesome. It wasn't perfect, but it felt so good for a Lord of the Rings game. So what I'm saying here is I don't really want to see a Tolkien lore reskin just slapped onto Kingdom Come Deliverance. That would still be an awesome game, so if that's what happens, we still win. But what I want to see is Warhorse, and I fully trust them to do this, take the lore of Middle-earth and build gameplay mechanics and features that fit the vibe and the tone of Lord of the Rings and the world that Tolkien created. So I guess the real question is what kind of RPG is this actually going to be? Is it going to be more heavily narrative focused like Kingdom Come, where you follow a set character and a set story? Or is it going to be more open world sandbox where you get to create your character, choose from an elf or a dwarf or a human, and choose your own path and story? And I guess the other question is, what do you guys want to see? Like, what would your dream open world Lord of the Rings RPG game be? I would love to see a game where you create your character, you go into Middle-earth and you start as maybe a nobody, and then you work your way up through doing different stories, interacting with different people across Middle-earth, to help the free folk and help fight back the shadow of Mordor. And maybe eventually you can become a captain in the Gondor armies or something and actually fight in some sieges. Imagine if we got to ride with the Rohirrim at the Battle of the Pelennor Fields. I'm done. There will be no real life anymore. I will be living in this game. The other thing about this is the expectations are going to be pretty brutal for this one, right? Lord of the Rings is one of the most passionate fan bases I've ever seen, and it is chock full of beautiful lore ready to use, but hopefully not abuse.
Wife is cuckolding him, whose children can't stand him, and even the dog pisses in his boots every morning.
Because as we know from watching other Lord of the Rings content, fans aren't happy when you don't respect the lore that came before. So I really hope Warhorse Studios are gonna go about this in complete reverence and respect for Tolkien's vision and work, and not be like, no, we want to do our own version of Lord of the Rings because we think we have better ideas. I'm sure they're not going to do that, but I have to say it because we have seen some Lord of the Rings content that's come out that, you know.
You have not seen what I have seen.
Tobias Stoltz-Swilling, the communications director at Warhorse Studios, said, "We are now officially working on 2 major IPs, and yes, both will of course be open world RPGs. Kingdom Come continues with a new adventure, but we are also working on something entirely new for Warhorse, a new RPG set in Middle-earth. We have always created worlds full of stories, places and characters that pull you in, and that is exactly the kind of Middle-earth we want to bring to life." So pretty much no information is given away here, except 2 important things, and one is that a new Kingdom Come adventure is being created. So that in and of itself is something for us to get very excited about. But the wording Tobias uses about the Middle-earth game is very interesting here, because he says, "We are also working on something entirely new." Now that to me doesn't say anything definitive, but it could infer that Warhorse are not planning to just carbon copy, slap the Tolkien skin straight onto a Kingdom Come Deliverance game, and sets the tone for working on new features, new mechanics, a new kind of RPG. So I think it's okay for us to get excited and speculate about what could be. But I do really hope that Warhorse bring the best of Kingdom Come over to this new game, whatever it may be. Given that there's no more information, we're going to keep this one short, but I am so excited to bring this news to you. I hope you guys are just as excited as I am, and I'm going to be following the progress of this like a hawk. Or I guess like a grey eagle. So make sure you subscribe and like this video if you want to see much more content on the progress of this game as we learn more. I hope you're just as excited as I am. I hope you found this entertaining. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.